Good morning. My name is Corina Ene. I am with the Office of Federal Programs at the Oklahoma State Department of Education. On behalf of Superintendent Hofmeister, I would like to welcome you to the Evaluation and Plan Revision in Targeted Assistance Schools webinar. This is the last webinar in the series of school-wide and targeted assistance webinars presented by the Office of Federal Programs. So if you are watching this one, you have probably watched the previous 6 webinars. Under ESSA Section 1115, it is required that the Title I Targeted Assistance Plan be regularly monitored and revised as necessary based on student needs to ensure that all students are provided opportunities to meet the challenging state academic standards. Why is plan evaluation necessary? Before the effectiveness of the plan is measured, it is necessary to determine if the plan is being implemented as intended and if it reaches the desired results. If certain strategies prove ineffective, the evaluation will lead to dropping obsolete strategies that do not meet the needs and search for new venues to improve student outcomes. You are ready probably to develop the narrative in Section 5 of the Targeted Assistance Plan. In order to meet the Oklahoma State Department of Education expectations, the narrative in Section 5 of this plan must describe how school leadership, including families and community stakeholders, regularly monitors and adjusts the implementation of the Title I Targeted Assistance Plan based on short and long-term goals for student outcomes and evaluates high-quality implementation. The monitoring and revision of the Title I Targeted Assistance Plan includes regular analysis of multiple types of data. For example, student learning data, demographic data, process and perception data, and so on. And necessary adjustments are made to increase student learning. School leadership, including families, community, stakeholders, and instructional staff, regularly analyze interim and summative assessment data to evaluate instructional practices, determine patterns of student achievement, growth and changes in growth gaps across classrooms, grade levels, and content areas. School leadership should, in partnership with families and community stakeholders, ensure the progress and quality of the targeted assistance plan by checking if all Title I activities are carried out in accordance with federal compliance guidelines, if the strategies and initiatives outlined in the plan are implemented, if the short and long-term academic achievement goals are met, if the plan implementation is in compliance with budgetary guidelines. Title I plan monitoring is not a one-time event. It is about how the Title I director effectively implements and supervises the Title I programs in each school to ensure fiscal and programmatic compliance, in addition to the actions that each school leadership takes. Avoid looking at the Title I plan once a year when it must be submitted to the State Department of Education, but look at this implementation on a regular basis. For a successful Title I plan monitoring and effective corrective action plans, action steps, the Title I director should develop clear procedures regarding the submission and implementation of the Title I plans and disseminate these procedures to all schools, should establish clear expectations and set deadlines for documentation submission, should organize the documentation by school and offer additional support to those schools who fall behind. Closely scrutinize the expenditures submitted by each school to make sure they align with the budget proposed by the school. Periodically walk through each school and give feedback to the principals. If necessary, make mid-year adjustments to adapt to unforeseen circumstances. Use the Comprehensive Needs Assessment tool as a resource of multiple types of data to analyze. For example, student performance, demographics, processes, perception data, etc. Avoid looking at limited types of data which are not aligned to the expected outcomes. Analyze the data and determine if the data indicate any student learning improvement. Use interim and summative assessment data to evaluate instructional practices and to determine patterns of student achievement. Determine growth and changes in growth gaps across classrooms, grade levels, and content areas. Do not limit the involvement of only the school leadership and instructional staff into data analysis, but instead include families and community stakeholders as well. Do not use summative and sporadic formative assessment, but use interim assessment on a regular basis to be able to promptly address any changes needed. What to do after analyzing the data. You probably should write a clear, concise report about the data analysis results, a description of the evaluation procedures, an explanation of how the data were analyzed, strengths and weaknesses revealed by the data, then draw a conclusion with recommendations. Provide the roadmap for continuous improvement of students in the Title I Targeted Assistance Program and make any necessary adjustments to increase student learning. We are ready to wrap the evaluation and plan revision section in the Targeted Assistance Plan. And after you complete the narrative, you will take input from the stakeholders. And if no adjustments are needed or suggested, you will conclude the development of the Targeted Assistance Plan. Before I end the presentation, again, I have some helpful hints on the screen for completing the plan as PDF document. You will use either Adobe Acrobat Reader application, which is free, or Adobe Acrobat Pro, which requires a license to be purchased. You will type the responses directly into the PDF form in the designated text box. When typing on the form, the text box does not change and one must continue scrolling down to complete the responses. Cannot paste into or attach graphs and charts to the form, but may upload graphs and charts in the grants management system in addition to the template. However, the graphs and charts should be converted to PDF. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me at the phone number and email address on the screen, or Debbie Pham, who is the School-Wide and Targeted Assistance State Coordinator. Until next time, I'd like again to thank you for being with me in today's webinar, and have a good day.